Well, welcome back, subscribers. Um, I had forgotten about one of my subscribers had tagged me in to do a video. Um, what is my favorite werewolf movie? This is from a subscriber, Ghoul World Order. Um, so, this will be my favorite werewolf movie. Now, before I get into the movie, there is a couple werewolf movies that I want to honorable mention on here, um, which are not exactly per se just werewolf movies, but I do like the Werewolf and the Monster Squad. I do like the movie Wolf with Jack Nicholson. I also like The Howling. Um, the first Howling. There's other movies in the Howling series I like too, but yeah. So and then there's a couple other ones like the Underworld series and the Underworld series. The Twilight films, some of them are okay, but this is my favorite werewolf movie. American Werewolf in London. This is the 1981 John Landis starring David Nugent, Ginny Agutter, and Griffin Dunne film. Now, this is the DVD that I own. I would like to upgrade this to Blu-ray one of these days. This day I actually have it inserted at one time, but the copy I have does not have it. The reason I like American Werewolf in London, the beginning of the movie when the two guys are walking in the English moors and they're reminiscing about things in their past, and they start come upon this bar, and everybody's like a little weird. In the scene, you actually see a couple of well-known English actors. I believe his name is Brian Glover, who played in Alien 3, and Rick Mayall, who played Fred and Drop Dead Fred, is also in that scene. And then they leave, and then Griffin Dunne's character gets attacked by the werewolf, and David Nugent gets bitten by one, so he slowly becomes into a werewolf. Now, like I said, this came out in 1981. I didn't actually see this movie for the first time until I believe it was 1989, 90. So it's been about 28, 29 years ago since I originally first saw American Werewolf in London, and I've seen it millions of times, not millions of times, but thousands of times, close to it. And for being an hour and 38-minute movie, it's actually progressively keeps you interested throughout the whole film. I mean, the one little part of the film that I really liked was what was it? The Nazis werewolves, where they're David Nugent is sitting there dreaming, and he's goes to his house, and his mom and his dad and his sister there, and all of a sudden these like Nazi werewolves come in there and start shooting up their family, and I like that. It was a pretty cool scene. And then when you think it's a dream, it's a dream within a dream, and yeah, it's it's a great movie. And I would be pretty bad if I didn't mention that the live transformation scene that was done by the Rick Baker, and which gave him an Oscar for this, which actually gave the Academy Award the first Oscar award. And that's when you slowly progress to see him turn into a werewolf. He starts to feel the pain, and he starts to see hair grow, and his hands starts extending, and his feet start extending. It's a really classic scene. Now, the movie The Howling also came out around the same time as this, and it has a lot of live action zombie, or not zombie, but werewolf transformation in that film as well, and that was done by Rob Bottin. So they both well-deserved makeup effects for the film. This is way 20, some 30, 20, 30, I'd say about 20 years prior for getting what you get today in movies and CGI, and that's what really the main thing I enjoy. I mean, like, I did enjoy the Underworld films, and the other werewolf movies like Wolf Cop, but this is actually more towards what I enjoy more, because it's more of a how would I say, it's more not, because being Return of Werewolf is not really realistic, but I think it's more the practical effects that you see in this film compared to what you see today with the CGI and all that, and it definitely holds up to a lot of horror fans' standards in that time period. It definitely has held its own, and it's definitely become a cult classic. And you know, a lot of the it would, if another little mention is, it was funny how Frank Oz, the voice of Kermit the Frog, happens to be in that film, and you get a bunch of other older character actors who get killed off by the werewolf show up in the scene where the movie theater, when his friend Griffin Dunn is talking to him, and he's all pretty much all corpse. Which throughout the film you see his friend come and show up ever so often, and he's slightly each time he shows up he keeps deteriorating. The one thing that I really want to point out in this film is that the scene where he's in the hospital and his friend comes to see him for the first time, and you see the big scratch mark on his face, and there's this little piece of flesh that is off of the skin, and you just see it flapping like this. I thought that was a really neat little aspect of that scene. Even though Rick Baker, he has mentioned several times that it was not the intention for that little flap moving around was not intended to happen, but it was part of the makeup, that the part just kind of like fell apart, and it just, a little piece of it was flapping around. That was really, really with that and other parts of the film, but that particular scene is what really stands out for me for the film. Now the DVD does not have many features. It's got a auto commentary and making, which was an original featurette, interview with John Landis and makeup artist Rick Baker, casting of the hand, outtakes, cast of filmmakers. The Blu-ray's probably got a couple more extra features on it, but this is definitely one of my favorite werewolf movies, and I appreciate the tag by the Ghoul World Order. So I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of having to put a subscription through the messages. Once I get that figured out, I'll be able to put it down below. But if you go to the channel, type the word Ghoul, Ghoul, and World Order, and then go to their channel and check out their channel. But that's a tag from my subscriber. And so, and lastly, so the werewolf movie, my favorite, is American Werewolf in London. So this concludes the tag of favorite werewolf movie, and I will catch you next week with a couple more videos, and you enjoy the rest of your week and weekend, and I'll catch you later.